What is up, guys? Today, you see the title of the video, I finally found an F2L trick that I actually like that involves E-slices. So TLDR, TLDW, it's basically this 3-cycle edge com, like doing something like that. I think that could be a really useful F2L trick. Before I get into how I think it could be useful and the cases that I'm liking with it, I want to talk about the E-slice F2L tricks that I don't like and why I haven't really been able to get super behind them. So the first and most obvious one is like this beginner method edge commutator, and it has some benefits obviously. It's very brain dead, it covers a unique angle, especially for like back slots, and it's very easy to predict either OLL or your next pair, similar to like these tricks where it's easy to predict stuff going forward. The reason I don't love them is because, for one thing, if you're not on last pair, you can usually do keyhole. I wouldn't necessarily recommend keyhole if it involves doing like a D2, but most of the time you can just do keyhole. The second reason I don't like it is because if you are on last pair, you can pretty much always avoid a dot case in the most like basic level of solving. And then if you know VLS, then you can set that up pretty often. And then even outside of VLS, there are a lot of good edge control tricks. Like for this one, you can do that. There's like this one with the line. There's like the 2 beginner method inserts, like the 2L shapes. Point being, you can very often get an EO skip very easily on last pair. So that's the other reason I don't like it. So that's the first E-slice trick that I'm not a huge fan of that seems to be pretty popular, and that's kind of why. The other E-slice trick that I can think of is like a very, it's a very weird niche one, but I think at Worlds 2019, or it might have been US Nats 2018, someone showed me that for this F2L pair you can do like this E-slice commutator thing cancelled into an insert. My reasoning for not liking this specific trick, there might be another variant of this that's good, but it fills the front right slot, and that's not super great for look ahead. And there's just like other decent ways you can solve this pair. Like you could do like this into that. Maybe if you're at like this angle, you could do froth stuff and then have like a good finish that way. That's the other primary like E-slice F2L trick that I've seen that I haven't been able to completely get behind or see myself using. But what I can see myself using is, let's say I have this as my first pair, instead of doing the standard like R2 fat U blah blah blah, I just do this. So it's basically a 4 mover, similar to how this is a 3 mover. These are always 4 movers because obviously the U layer doesn't matter, and the entire U layer gets preserved as well, which is another benefit of these tricks. So I know that if I do this E-slice trick, this is going to stay as a free pair no matter what. So that is really cool, or if I had something else here, then I would still be able to see that. So this is one of the tricks I like, because for this case at this angle, I have been using this for a long time, but I think this is just strictly better. Another one that I'm a fan of is, for this angle, this F2L case, I'm mostly showing the ones that fill the back left slot. So obviously for this case, you could do like a rotation into this 5 mover, and that's fine as well. I think I would still potentially use that in some scenarios. Then again, maybe not, because I could always just do, from this angle even, I could do like that. Or I guess I would finger trick it like that. But for like this angle's money, because I could do that, which I think is really nice. And I guess the other one for the back left slot, there's like this one, it has L moves in it. I have like a bit of a bias when it comes to stuff like that. But instead of doing that 5 mover, you could totally just do like U2, or maybe not even, yeah, I guess you would have to do U2, so it'd be like U2, that, and then push like that, which is still a 5 mover, but you turn a lefty 5 mover into a righty one, assuming you're willing to do that E-slice turn. Obviously a bunch of different ways you can mirror this, invert, etc., and that case I showed there, like you don't have to do it as a 5 mover, you could just do like, you could do like a lefty version of it, although that feels pretty uncomfortable for me. Even more left-hand bias, so to speak. But yeah, I finally found an E-slice trick for F2L that I can actually get behind. So I guess to recap, these are always 4 movers. They always preserve whatever you have in the U layer, so it makes look ahead into the next pair brain dead, assuming you're actively looking ahead. All it's going to do to the U layer is like one of these, assuming you end with a fat U turn or do the first turn as like a fat U. And yeah, it's just a cool trick. I like it more than the other ones that I mentioned. Let me know in the comments, by the way, if you have any F2L tricks that involve E-slices that I didn't mention in this video that you actually think are worth using and worth learning. Obviously, I still can't really get behind the beginner method edge inserts, and that other one I showed, I don't like the slot it fills, and I find that a lot of the time I can just do froth stuff anyway. So yeah, there you go. That's the video. Thanks for watching. Hope you learned something, and I'll see you in the next one.